Hey, everybody, and welcome to my new podcast, Conversations with Kat. Um, just a part of my self care Sundays. I go to church or I watch church if I don't make it, and I just try to center myself and set my intentions for the week and things like that. So, I wanted to bring y'all in on the things that I have learned and just kind of, walk with me through this journey and walk with you through this journey. So, first things first, make sure if you're watching on YouTube that you are liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Let's get into the things. So, number one, I wanted to just talk about healing in my process and how it helped me. It helped me a lot. I wanted to be outside because I wanted to kind of like, feel nature and, every episode may be a different location, so don't hold me to being outside in nature. I may actually try to, if you're watching the visual, I may actually try to be in an area where trees are. But I have so much equipment. Like, I have a microphone, I got my headphones, I got my computer, and I don't want to just lug all of that around if I don't have to. So doing it out of the comfort of my home is a lot more simplistic and easy for me, just to say. Okay, so healing. I didn't realize that I really needed healing until I got into a relationship. I thought that I was just fine. I knew that I came with my issues and my baggage and my childhood trauma. Shout out to YB. But, I thought I was going to church. I had a job that I was going to, 5 days a week, making pretty good money, working out on a regular basis. So I thought I was cool until I got in a relationship and I had to unlearn things that I thought were perfectly normal. Number one, getting into a relationship means combining your life with someone else's. So it's not going to be all you and it's not going to be all them. And I came into this situation kind of expecting it to be all me. Like, this is the way I do things. Let's not change that. Let's not disrupt that. And he kind of felt the same way. And I think having a critical adult conversation helped us both realize that that's never going to work in an environment where you're combining two different personalities, two different worlds. I'm from Texas, he's from Louisiana. We were raised two totally different ways, and it shows in the way we conduct our everyday lives. I'm learning some things from him, he's learning some things from me, and we're just unlearning things together. And I think that helped. When we first got together, it wasn't easy at all because I still had my attitude and I had my gripes about myself. He had his. But over time, I think people run into an issue waiting for the other person to change. Why not start the change? Why not have it start with you? And that's what I did. I was praying, Lord, change him. Lord, I don't want this. Lord, I don't like this. Lord, I don't. And it was just like, well, what about you? You're not faultless in this whole situation. So what I did was I kind of like recentered myself, made sure that I was honest about myself and the things that I needed to change. And then I worked on those things. And then also realizing that it's not a short journey. It's not going to be 1 or 2 days. It's not going to be, see, this is the downside of being outside. Thank you, Lord, for the wind, but that's the downside. But it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be a short journey. For some, it's a lifelong journey. You got to put in the work, baby, and it's not for the faint-hearted. I get tested. I get tried. And I've even told him, I was just like, sometimes I feel like because when you're with someone, somebody air conditioner just popped on. When you're with somebody, not even when you're with somebody, when you're used to somebody being a certain way and then they decide to change, nobody knows that you've made that change but you and God. That's it. Nobody else knows. So everybody still expects you to show up in spaces the same way you've always shown to pay for it. And that's just not how it works all the time. You can't always do that. So you have to unlearn things and realize that it's a process for other people too. It definitely is a process for other people too. So with that being said, you have to give yourself grace and you have to give grace to those around you. Give them time to adjust to the new you, just like you're adjusting to the new you. This is new for all of us. And you can't expect people to just catch on and just be like, oh, you didn't change, so it's all good. No, it's not all good, because they still expect you to be that same person, and they may have some unresolved trauma and unresolved issue and unresolved situations that you need to address now that you're in this new state, and you can receive criticism, and you can accept accountability, and you can apologize for your actions. So number one in healing is making sure that you recognize that there's a problem and really get into the nitty gritty of what the problem is. To say, oh, no, I'm fucked up, I got problems, I got issues. That's cool. But what is that going to do for you in the long run if you don't really address those issues? You can't heal what you don't reveal. People say that all the time. And it's helped. Prayer has helped. I'm not going to try to push, Jesus on everybody, but I'm telling you what works for me. I pray every day. And I make sure that I make some time for God, and it's not just oh Lord, I love you and I bless my family. No, I go into detail. Sometimes you need to have a real heart-to-heart, gutter conversation with the Lord. Not only because he wants to hear, but because, again, you can't heal what you don't reveal. Yeah, he knows. But if you don't see it's a problem, why should he start fixing it? God is somebody that you have to invite in. And when you invite him in, he's not going to just start redecorating and reorganizing and changing your house around unless you give him permission to do so. He's very kind. He's very respectful. He's not going to overstep any boundaries. If you don't want him in your life, if you don't want him in your heart, if you don't want him in your relationship, your job, your everyday walk, he won't be there. He will oversee, love you, and do what he can and what he will. But he's not going to force himself on anybody. Now, he ain't about to let you play him. The joke is definitely going to be on you in the end, because you're going to come running back crying, what must I do to be saved? And every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. We already know that. But in the meantime, do what you do and how you do it. Live, have fun. But understand that everything comes with a price. And I'm realizing now, I have to sacrifice a lot of things. I can't do everything that I want to do. Not just because I'm holy hell, and shout out to my cousin Danye, but because I'm just not there anymore. I don't want to go out all the time. I don't really want to go out at all. I don't mind going to a dinner. I don't mind going to people's houses. I don't mind going to parties. But clubbing is a day of the past for me. Like, that is yesteryear. Many, many moons ago, I went out and I had a great time and I lived my life. But the Bible says when I was a child, I thought as a child, and when I grew up, I put away those childish things. So that means that you have to grow up and evolve at some point. The things that you used to do years ago, you can't necessarily do now. And that just is what it is. So I wanted to come to y'all and just talk about, my healing process and what I went through and what it looks like. It's not easy. It's grimy. Some days you will fall. Some days you will have moments where you are dragged right on back to the old you. And it's like, you know what? But I'm learning to give myself grace. It doesn't mean scratch on my progress and I'm starting at square one. It just means you learn from that mistake, you pick up where you left off, and you keep it moving. That is it. That is it. But I think we need to have this conversation about healing. We got a lot going on. Not only individually, but in our families, on our jobs, in our friendships, in our relationships, in our nation. Don't y'all see that? Above anything, I think everything stems from mental health. Even with the Diddy situation, I feel like that stems from mental health. You gotta be fucked up in the head to be doing shit to people who don't want you to do those things to them. Something ain't connecting. The plug is not going into the socket if you think that it's okay to force yourself and the things that you like on other people simply because you enjoy it. What is wrong with you? And I was telling my boyfriend, I think it comes from a place of power. It's not even about, because think about it. You have your pick of the litter. You can have just about anybody you want that wants you consensually. Number one, why is one person not enough? Ain't that much sex in the world. I love you, YB, but girl, it is what it is. Girl, a couple here and there, if that's your preference, then go off. But to sit up and always want multiple dicks in your face, I just don't understand that. On top of the fact that, girl, if you're that hung up on porn, if you're that hung up on seeing people nude, you got Twitter, you got all these porn sites, you got OnlyFans, you got your roster. that you can really enjoy and give your all to one at a time. That is, sex with one person is tiring. I can't extend myself to multiple people. I don't find that fun either. I don't find that fun. I'm someone who wants the attention on me. Can you focus on me? Because I don't need you to focus on anybody else. The party is here. The show is here. And I'm the star. But if I were honest, I am not the show-stopping Beyonce when it comes to the bed. I actually like for my partner to take the lead. Because I feel like in so many other aspects of my life, I have to do that. With my content, with my podcast, with my music, even at work, I find myself taking the lead a lot. So when it comes to matters of the heart and leisure, I would much rather take a back seat. That's why a lot of times, if y'all saw me on panels, I'm one of the most soft-spoken. Like, I'm not really going to talk unless, because it's like, I'm tired of running the show all the time. I do like to take the lead. I am a Leo and it's in my nature, but I don't want to always have to do every fucking thing. But, getting off topic, healing. That's also a part of healing. Being honest with yourself. Who are you really? Stop with the imposter syndrome. You are not that other person. You may have qualities that other persona possesses that is really true to you, but you are not that other person. Get to the root of who you are, because I think a lot of us have been traumatized and tainted and polluted by society into believing that we are something that we are not. Always. It's the people pleasers and I want to always be salacious, so I always have the attention on me, and I want to be the first to do something, so I have the highest number of subscribers and the highest number of views, and I break the stuff. And it's always about people pleasing. It always comes back to the fact that you are doing things to impress other people who are simply out here trying to impress other people. At the root, it's just a rat race. It's just a hamster wheel. I'm trying to impress you, and you're trying to impress them, and they're trying to impress. So, who is really the judge and the jury here? Nobody. Because if you think about it, we may be the judge and jury for someone, but for someone else, we're on trial trying to plead our case. I'm over it. I'm going to live authentically myself. If I'm weird, okay. If I say something and nobody gets the joke, I thought it was hilarious. If nobody streams my music, I think We Birth is a phenomenal album. I have to stop. Even with the views on YouTube, a lot of times, I would see the numbers in the past and be like, you know what, these hoes ain't watching, so why am I finna waste my time? Why am I about to sit up here and try to it takes work. I have to watch whatever show I'm reviewing. I have to write my notes down. I have to find a way to make my bullet points fit into a 20-minute or longer video. I have to then record the video and make sure that my energy is high and that I'm giving y'all entertainment the entire time. Voice be going the fuck out. Then I have to finish that, upload that video to my computer, edit that for about an hour. After I edit that and cut out the dry moments and the mistakes and things like that, then you upload it to YouTube. Then the real work starts. Then you have to promote. So now I'm watching the video I just shot and just edited all over again to find bits and pieces and sound bites that will make you want to watch more. Make a video out of that, like maybe a 1-minute video out of that. Then post that to my socials to get you to come to YouTube. And then half the time, we as, civilians, we as citizens, we as Americans are lazy. So I'll get 200, 300 videos on my reel. But that's all y'all want. Y'all don't want to, my mom is calling me. That's all y'all want, and y'all don't want to do anything else. Alright, y'all, so I love y'all, but I have to wrap this up. This conversation with my mama is getting juicy. I love y'all. We'll pick up part 2 later. We will definitely pick up part 2 later because I want to continue talking about this. Make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, and we'll talk later.